Here is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of May 13th through the 17th. I will go over price targets, have a gap recap from the week of May 6th through the 10th, and update the chart as well. Hi everyone, it's Dow on the Dow. I hope you're doing well. I'm still getting over my allergies and a cold. I took some cough syrup and some sore throat spray, so hopefully I won't hack at you. But if I do, you'll know why. All right, let's get into this. TLRY is first up. We ended the week at $1.93. Now for your price targets. To the north side from where we are takes us to the middle of the trend, which we are very close to. That is at $1.94. 2 standard deviations and resistance and a potential take profit area, $2. Another take profit area, 203, and roughly 206. To the south side, 189 at -2 standard deviations and support and a potential buy-in area. 186, I'll explain the yellow lines in just a moment, and at -4 standard deviations, $1.93. Now, looking left for your gap recap, when I talked about the price beginning last week, it was $2.10. We have made our way down to, again, $1.93. But there's a gap that I am tracking still that carried over from the previous week and closed out right here. So that's a move I anticipated down to 201. I can delete that now. It is no longer a threat to our account. Obviously, there are other threats. Whoops. That's done as well. And a gap opened up. This I will definitely need to clean up. This gap opened up right out of the gate on Monday, the 6th, and we gapped up, so I anticipate a gap down, and it closed right here at 210. So that's done as well. Oops. Command Z, if you do something you don't like and you want to undo it. And then we started to fall, and we were at resistance, and you know what happens at that level. People take their profits and they run, and that's exactly what happened. And you can see the bounce here at support. This turns into support as we fall down. Support again, support, bounce, bounce there. And then a sell-off at resistance here, coming down to support. Now I'll explain these lines here. I tracked this stock again when I took a look, when I looked at my pot stocks that I like to track. We were at $1.98 on Thursday. And we hit resistance, and of course we started to fall. And then we touched this level at support. But I had marked out, because my voice was gone, the middle of the trend, 2 standard deviations, 3 and 4, and -2, -3, and -4. Well, what happened? Price fell right in line with the middle of the trend. Price, if you mark it out, will typically hover around this line, whatever line it may be, because that line also changes every single day, or it will hover wherever this line is that you mark out, and whatever color you happen to make it. Mine's just in green. So what I want to do, just to complicate things for you, or if you just like more graphs, I'm going to mark this out. For a moment, I felt like Kamala Harris there. Okay, with her whatever charts she likes. Okay, so that's the middle of the trend. This is 2 standard deviations. Oops. And this is, oops, Command Z. I have the magnet on, so you have to be 1 tick over or it will not let you hit the point. See how it just draws it up right there? This is the best I can do right there. So I like to track -2, the middle of the trend, and 2 standard deviations all day long. Anything outside of that is an outlier. And for me, a buy or sell signal. So up here are sell signals, down here are buy signals. But just for giggles, because now this is the new target for Monday. So I'm going to delete 3 and 4 standard deviations because that's just too big of a spread. I don't need that. And if you're thinking about paying for an account on TradingView, you don't need to do it. You don't need the 3 and the 4 standard deviations. That's just extra and just not necessary. I do it just for myself and for fun, but definitely not needed if you want a free account. Okay, so that's where my target is going to be on Monday. And then if you want to, you would just delete that. But I'm just going to leave it now because I've drawn it, and then it'll come back at a later date and we'll look at it down the road a month from now and see where we are. Moving on, NIO. We ended the week at $5.07, down 4.88%. To the north side, 527, 537, 547, 487, 476, and 466. Looking left for your gap recap. So, price was here, and we gapped. Oh, that looks like a gap up that I did not mark. Yep, look at that. I don't even need to see it to know that I forgot to draw out a gap. I can just tell by where price landed. So we gapped up. That means I anticipate a gap down, and we will touch right here. You can see that. So we closed out basically where we started. But, oh, there, my voice cracked because of my cold/allergies. Okay, we gapped up, so I anticipate a gap down, and I like to put my gaps to the downside in red, just so when I look at 1,000 stocks a day, it's so easy for me to tell which direction the gap went. And we closed out. No longer a threat to our account. So we were up here at resistance, fell down to support, and bounced back up to resistance. Okay, this gap. Now, I did not clean this. I did not catch this. But this gap actually closed out the previous week. It touched right here. And Monday was the start here. So, but nonetheless, we gapped out at 591. Remember, when I pull my gaps from the previous week, for instance, into this upcoming week, I pull it out. I'll show it to you when I get there, but I pull it out and I don't know where it's going to go. So I just mark it out and then I clean it up in front of you later so you can see exactly how I do it if you don't know how. So that started at 584 and closed out at 591. So congratulations if you made some money off of there, sold out, to repeat the process again at a buy-in price that you deemed you liked. Let me make this a little bit bigger. All right, so this gap touched also to the upside on Tuesday, it looks like. Oops. Oh, that Manzi. There we go. They're so small that you have to make the box a little bit bigger or it gets wonky on you. So 559 there. No longer in play. I'd like to delete. Okay, this gap opened up, a gap down, so I anticipate a gap up. So I put it in green. And this will play out sometime this week, and it could even touch on Monday. So that will take us to 551. It will begin at roughly 528. Okay, and then we have a gap to the south side, sad panda. All right, I don't know where it's going to touch, so let's just move it here. But technically, it could touch maybe on Friday if we continue down. It'll touch negative 2 standard deviations. All right. Oh, one other thing. Oh, gosh darn it. So when I started the week, we were at 557, again down to 507, but you can see where we spiked up, sold off at resistance, bought back in, well, support, and then this is resistance, grinding sideways, falling back down, grinding sideways as well. So if we make it down to here, this will turn into support and then bounce off of that, I anticipate. Something happened. I lost my, oh my goodness. I'm not going to stop the video because it would just take, oh, see how I lost my white line? I use the same color, so intuitively I know something's wrong, and that disappeared. So I made it go back the 3 standard deviations, okay? So let me, oh, I'll clean this up again later off camera, but the numbers are the same. But again, 557 down to 507. SOFI. So this is the thing I hate about TradingView. It's so, I don't know, tender is the word. So, it just drives me bonkers. I move very quickly, and when I do that and try to do it too fast, things just get wonky and it drives me batty. All right. Stay on page. Option R, I'm going to reset this so you can see this a little bit better. We ended the week at 694. Here are your price targets: 695, 701, 704, and 707. Ignore the pink line. That's one of my previous buy-in areas. That now really should be my sell area. 689, 686, and 683. Hold on one second. I got some sore throat spray. Okay, 683. Now for your gap recap. Well, I want to check something. Yeah, I like to keep this on candles, or if I want to make the candles easier to read, then I'll switch it to this, but I would like to see the gaps, so I put it on that. All right. Nothing significant with the gaps, just one gap. We gapped up, so I anticipate a gap down. Here, and we touched right there, and then we went even farther south, and look at the buy-in, okay? So that's done at 699. No longer a threat to our account to the south side. Note the bounce though. Sell off, bounce. Not a big bounce, but just grinding sideways. Channel going down on the 5-minute. We have not started to go sideways yet. Once we go sideways, then if I see an uptick, that means I know there's a movement, a change in the charts. Sell off here too. All right, I'm going to move this along here. All right, $9.99 is where we ended for RIVN. Here are your price targets. Middle of the trend, 10.04, 10.42, 10.63, 10.81, 9.63, 9.43, and 9.28. Earnings report. Reported 1.204 billion, and the estimate was 1.169 billion, so that's nice to see. But the stock still got punished, fell down, started to rip back up, back to the middle of the trend there. But it's just so weird. I have to look at that again and look over the fundamentals, which I normally don't do because all I do is just quick trades here and show you price targets. I don't really do fundamentals. I let the experts do that. I just trade the technicals. All right, for this gap recap, this is a carryover, and we touched right here, 1062 to the upside. Delete. We touched here, and remember, I just extend all these gaps, and I just pull them right as I continue each week, as I continue the path. So this one touched at 11:09 on Tuesday, May 7th. So congratulations if you made some money there. Now my next target to the upside will be at 11:67. We have many more other gaps to talk about, but let's take it one gap at a time. And we are still going down on the 5-minute time frame. So this is not in our channel, not in the zone, not even close. Just something to be aware of. The next one, TSLY. We're having a meltdown here. First, for your price targets, we ended the week at 1437. Resistance, 1450. 1459, 1468. Middle of the trend and support, 1432. 1414. Let's get this out of the way. 1405 and 1396. Now for your gap recap. I'm upside down on this one, but that's okay. I am not panicked whatsoever. So we started the week up here at resistance, starting to fall down. So this gap, we gapped down, which the gap we created last week, still in play for that one. Move this out of the way. This gap still in play. Oh, but look at this nasty little thing. This one, remember I just extended, so now I have to clean it up. This is from how many weeks ago? Oh, that was just from the 26th of April. So this gap touched, I think it looks like right there at 1509, where this other gap has formed. So then this gap ended, we rode up a little bit, basically sideways, then flushed down the toilet. So when we go down, I anticipate a gap up. So we filled it 3/4 of the way, not there yet, at 1509. So this is still in play. Boom. And this nasty one is still in play, opened up on the 24th of April. Still there to haunt us down to 1319. Next one is Pfizer. Ended the week at the middle of the trend. 28.33, 28.51, and 28.68. 27.65, 27.48, 27.30. Now for your gap recap. Just had to drink some water. Okay, we gapped up. So this opened up last week. I anticipate a gap down, and it touched right there on Tuesday, it looks like. Hit resistance, fell back down to support, almost touched there and ran back up. All right, this gap opened up, and we opened up, it looks like maybe Thursday at the end of the day, Friday? No, Thursday, okay. Or Wednesday, I should say. I'm just giving you approximations, okay? No, that opened up Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Touched right there on Thursday, closed out at 28.22. So congratulations if you played that gap. And the gap was in -2 and 2 standard deviations, where I anticipate price to stay all day long. And remember, you can turn on your Fibonacci retracements, your VWAP, your Bollinger Bands, your patterns, although I do not play patterns other than W's and V's because I can't see them. I can't see the teacup and handle. I can't see the inverted head and shoulders, the head and shoulders, the bull flag, whatever flag. I just don't see it. Unless you point it out to me, then I may see it. Even then, I don't know. So I like to trade this way because to me, it just hits me in the face and I can see it clearly. So you have to find a style that works for you. And that's what people say. Find a style that works for you. Maybe you trade the 200 moving average, the 50. I don't turn that on, but sometimes I do just for giggles. You know, there's so many things that you can do. Trend lines. Many levels in between this. I'm just giving you the standard deviations and keeping it simple. And keep in mind, it changes every single moment depending upon the time frame also that you play in, that it moves quicker. The changes happen faster. It is always moving. It's static, not static. What's the word I'm trying to say? I don't know. Always in flux. Next one, Intel. I need some water. Okay. 29.85. Middle of the trend. We were up here, going down. Oh my God, my voice is cracking all over the place. So basically we're at support. I need to get more Intel and dollar cost average. Okay. And Intel is looking good on the monthly, I think. It was the monthly that I looked at. 30.57, 30.94, and 31.29. 29.10-ish, 28.74, 28.36. I gotta get more sore throat spray. Hold on a second. Okay, people. Oh, all right. Where are we? Oh, gap recap. Okay, let me clean up my chart. I'll start with this one. This was from a carryover. We gapped up. I anticipate a gap down. We closed right here where this gap begins the line. So we closed out at roughly 30.50. And this teeny weeny one closed out at 30.99. Where is this 31? I think that was supposed to be for that one, but that's okay. This gap opened up last week, and this one is still in play. Okay, this one definitely needs to get cleaned up. This was a carryover, and I think it touched right here, actually. No, it did not. It touched right there. This looks like it, but if you blow this thing up, Didn't even come close. Well, kind of did, but right there it touched. Precisely. And then we had this gap. We gapped up, closed out right here, just a micro one. But I will move this back. Yeah, let's just draw it since I'm here. So if you micromanage your stocks, you can definitely trade the gaps for the week, gaps within the gaps, gaps that form, gaps that close out. I mean, to the north side, to the south side. I mean, look at all these gaps for this 1 week on Intel. Okay, we are still in a downward channel, unfortunately. That one closed out. So did that one. That was just the carryover from this. I know it looks confusing, but I know exactly what everything is. And if you're new, you'll get the hang of it too. Just spend 10 minutes a day doing this and you will learn so much. Not from me, from other people. Let's see here. That closed out. All right. So we're in a downward channel still, but there's a gap that I'm tracking to the north side that takes us to 31.95. That starts it. Not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. Something to look forward to. Something to be aware of. To the upside at 30.61. SLB, we ended the week at 48.50. $48.81, 49, 49.20, 48.03, 47.85, 47.64. Now for your gap recap. Not much happened, which is what I like. I like calm stocks that trade within -2 and 2 standard deviations. That's a gap up. But these are things that pique my interest when I see gaps. My trades and the probability of the trades making what I think is going to happen increase. We gapped up. I anticipate a gap down. Sure enough, right there. Playing the gap. A gap fill to me is playing it pretty safe if it's in a certain range. So that closed out at roughly 47. Oh, right at the price. Look at that. Ta-da! Notice there's a pattern that these gaps close out at where we started. And then there's another leg up. Resistance, resistance, sell off, sell off, sell off, sell off, sell off. Buy in, buy in. If you want to play it safe, buy in. Okay. And then this gap opened up. We gapped down, so I anticipate a gap up, and it closed right there at roughly 48.12. And from down here, this is resistance, and you know what happens. The next one is BABA. Finally making some headway here. 80.04. 80.72. 81.12. And oops. Command Z. 81.50. 79.18. 78.80. And 78.38. What was this green line? I don't even know anymore. Let's go to the 15-minute. Oh, it's a gap at 80.40. This is 80.40. Okay, let me mark this out at 80.40. 39, close enough. Yeah, okay. I am upside down here, but I've traded this before in the past. Okay, let me go back. See, you definitely need to check every time frame because different time frames give you different buy and sell signals. Look at this hot mess. I've tracked BABA for quite a while for the gaps because we tanked so hard, I thought, oh, I will just track this to the upside. And slowly we have reversed course. A painful course. All right, let's get back. Okay, now I've distracted myself here. I think I gave you these price targets. Here, down to 78.40. 81.50. I'll just do it again. Gosh darn it. 81.12-ish. 80.75. 79.17. 78.80. Okay, now for your gap recap. I got sidetracked by this one, so sorry. This gap opened up. We gapped down, so I anticipate it to fill up. Should we be so lucky to get this far up, that would take us to roughly 81.45. Okay. More sore throat spray. Okay. This gap opened up and closed to the upside at 79.34. We gapped up, so I anticipate this one to close down, and when it does, that will take us to 78.53. That takes us to 77.58, but fortunately we are going farther away from this because this is going up. Thank goodness, fingers crossed, we continue to close out all these gaps to the upside. That would be lovely, but this haunts us still. It's almost better to rip off the Band-Aid and just get here while we're close so it doesn't haunt us for the future. And then if you're looking to buy in, this could be the potential buy-in area. This could be a potential buy-in area here as well. But, you know, if you're going to be waiting for this area, I think I might wait for over here or here. Or heck, set a buy order that low, and maybe the wick will get you there, because that happens to me many times where I think, oh, I should have set a buy order. It's like there's no way it's going to happen, but it sure does. All right, 79.57 there. Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about to the upside on that one. Nike. Oh, look, I'm missing a line. Oh, there, it caught up with me. Whew. I was just about to go off in TradingView. But, you know, obviously I can't complain too much because I am using their chart. Where are we here? Okay. This is where we are. Resistance takes us to 91.80, 92.97, 93.56, I think it was. No, 52-ish. And 94.14. Okay. And to the south side, support 90.66, 90.07, and 89.50. Let's talk about the gaps to the south side. So this one is at 89.20 to the south side. Then we have this gap, carry over. And we're basically touching that right now. Let me mark this one. Okay, and then as far as the gaps to the upside, let me clean this one up. This is a carryover, touched right here. So that is done at roughly, oh, look at that, 93.99. So this gap closed, and then we have a previous gap that starts at 93.99. So the probability of hitting that and then this again, that's just like a bigger probability of making that number hit at 93.99. Not sure if I'm explaining that, but the odds increased is what I'm saying. Two different gaps took us to 93.99. That's all I'm saying. All right. So this gap closed out right here to the upside at 93.72. We gap down on this one, so I anticipate a baby gap up to 93.11. And then this 93.99, that will take us to 178 cents. Oh, but it looks so bad. Look, it's still going down. We are not in the zone, not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close to that upper range. Tesla. Even though we have all these stocks going to the downside, my account did go up overall. It was great this past week. Hope you had some great trades as well. All right. 170 for Tesla. Roughly 171.10. 172.27 to the south side. 167.72. 165.45. 164.35. And 163.27. Oh, can you hear that? Oh, I can't breathe out of one nose. Okay, now for your gap recap. This is where we ended last week. Okay. There looks like a gap up. Yep. And my line covered it. Oops. There. I have the magnet on I have the magnet turned on as well, so it helps me draw the lines more precisely. And then there's a baby gap there. I'm not going to bother. Okay, we gapped up, so I anticipate a gap down, and it filled right there at roughly 181.48. This gap to the south side is a carryover, and look at that. Touched right here on Friday. So if you played it to the downside and shorted, congrats, 168.70. Now, we've got this gap, not gonna close out anytime soon, but if we continue to go down, that could possibly touch on Wednesday, but I'm sure it's going to be erratic, just like Tesla always is. It's gonna be a fight. All right, what's going on with this one? Let's just do this one gap at a time. So this gap opened up last week, still in play, dragging it out. Don't know when it's going to touch. This one, 189.93. I don't know when it's going to touch. We are not in that channel, not in the zone, not even close. So I'm not even going to show you the price targets for those up above. Boeing is the next one as I scream. 178.51 to the north side, resistance. 180.76, 183.38, 184.63, and 185.90. Right? 178.20, 176.84, 175.59. Now for your gap recap. This is a carryover. Fortunately, we are going farther away from this. Not further as in furthermore, but farther as in distance. Okay? And what other gaps? Oh, let's see. This one, yeah, that's done. Clean that up a little bit. I think that is it for the gaps to the north side. This is the baby gap I'm tracking up to 189.49. And then after that will be 198.51. So let me mark that out. 198.51. I just use the up and down arrow because I'm clicked on this. All right. And, oh, is that? No. Let me just see something. Oh yeah, we got a lot of gaps to fill to the upside that I've been tracking for a long time. Yep. Thank you, Boeing. What a deep disappointment. Okay, so that's it for Boeing. The next one is Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. Option R, reset. 258.05 is where we ended to the north side. 259.03, 259.52, and 260.03. And remember, I'm just tracking from this point to this point, just a small move, okay? Now for your gap recap. This is a carryover from where? Right here. Got to clean this up one gap at a time. Don't let it be overwhelming. Done. 256.75 to the north side. It started here. Boom. So this is done. And doneer. Just kidding. Okay. All these are done except for this one. Fortunately, we are going farther away from it, but if you're looking for an entry point and you're patient, this will take us down to roughly 253.14. Closing out at 250.54. Let's see what else we can see. So that's done. This one opened up and closed to the downside, no longer a threat to our account. Of course, other threats, 256.21. This one closed right there at roughly 256.42. We hit resistance from here. This gap acted as a magnet. I knew intuitively it would close here at 256.39-ish, and that's resistance from here and the middle of the trend. So the probability, the likelihood of it hitting was great, and it did. That is the power of the gap and then the lines on the linear regression. Okay, now we went up and then down, closed out here at 257.82. Okay, and then there's this gap that I mentioned. Now, I know this is shocking because it seems like we just talk about the same trades over and over again, but Vanguard, the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, closed out the last gap I was tracking. So at 256.75. Let me show you this in the bigger picture. Let's just go to the day. Option R. Oh, remember I was tracking Chris Sane. So I've kept this, okay? And I've talked about that previously. But here's the peak. See that red line? That's 2 standard deviations. That's resistance. And we crack down to support running back up. I know this is really hard to see. Let's just get rid of this. Okay. And I was tracking it. Oh gosh, look at this. 196. Let me just take this to the, okay. On the monthly time frame, this chart is going to look wonky. Heads up. Oh, actually, on this one, let's see, I was tracking down to 181.97. No, this isn't wonky on this one, but I've tracked it many times. Oh, forget it. You can't even see it. But intuitively, I know something's going to happen because look left. We hit an overextended area. This is overextended. Anytime you see this, get out, unless you're hoping to ride it to another high. But if you want to take your profits and start back again, or it may never get down there, that's the problem. But you know something's going to happen if you hit this overextended area of 70 and above, oversold. We didn't even make it there and we started to crack, and now we're making a run for it. So there's still plenty of room to the upside to go up before we crack again. And the highest the RSI has ever gotten is at 85. So keep that on your radar. Okay, because let's go before I do something else. Okay, on the weekly, we've still got room to move to the upside. Notice the crack here for another run up. And on the daily, what are we looking at? Oh, got plenty of room to move to the upside. And then we hit a high of 82-ish. Okay. Now, what did I want to tell you? Oh, I want to show you. See, it's so funny. These gaps that I track are just like dots in the big picture. You're just playing a tiny movement. You're capturing a tiny movement. But look here, we've got gaps. This will take us down to 220. I mean, this thing could potentially implode. It's not going to happen overnight. It's just something to be aware of if you think gaps are going to close out. But this is where Chris was talking about, but I have tracked this at even a lower price point, and I'm just amazed at how price just shot up. So from here, I'm tracking to 250, but look, we've got something that takes us down to 246, 239, 225. So don't think that you can't enter because something has run its course. It hasn't. Things always will go back to the baseline. Okay. So this is the last gap. So because it's the last gap, I am giving you a new trade. So this is going to be even longer. CVS. This stock has bled out. So now is a good time possibly to take a look at it. I'm going to show you the RSI. This is not what I normally do on my gap and go trades, but since I'm here, I'm going to do it. RSI on the daily looking attractive to me. I don't like retail stocks, but in general, and especially CVS, I don't know. I don't do the fundamentals. Other people follow it, follow other people. I'm just a technical trader. I like it on the weekly. I like it. Well, not so much on the monthly because it's not there yet. Let me move this out of the way. Oh, wait. Oh, I put that there twice, I guess. I liked it so much, I put it on twice. There's more room to fall, possibly, because I don't see it reversing just yet. So I like it on the daily, the weekly, and the monthly is looking more attractive. So I'm putting this down on my gap and go trades. Back to the 5 minute. This is not a buy for me. I like it down here. This would have been a potential buy-in. So let's look at the numbers. Command R. Oops, no. Stay on the page. Option R. There we go. Try and try again. 55.82 is where we ended. To the north side. 56.53. 57.05. We start to tickle this gap to the upside at 57.57 here at 4 standard deviations. Support. Baseline 55.50. 54.47. 53.97. And 53.44. Oh, I guess I didn't. Did I not mark out? Weird. Let's reset this again. Alrighty. Okay, that's going to be Monday. And let me mark out the 17th, Friday. Okay. And I will be tracking this stock until it gets to this level. And then I will be adios. So from there to here, this is the target area-ish, 56.77. Oh, by the way, I looked this up. As of today, I saw this on Tip Ranks. Vanguard owns 99.5 million shares of CVS. So if Vanguard owns it, I don't think Vanguard is going to let itself fail. So they're going to do whatever they need to do, put out press releases, how great the company is doing, or short it and then they'll buy it for less. Who knows what they're going to do? Or the analysts, or if they want to move the market, they'll write something nice about it. Do them a favor. Okay, you don't know how these people work, but set your sell limits if you want to take your profit, set your buy orders, or set your losses, okay, to get out, because it's better to get out and to lose something than to lose everything. And I need to do that more often. I do not set a sell limit when things are falling, and I should have, especially Fastly. That's the latest one that has ripped me, shredded me, but that's okay. I'm going to slowly attack it and come back. I know, because I've already traded it once for my mom and made money, as my voice cracks again. But that's just a warning. All right, so that is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of May 13th through the 17th. I hope you have a fantastic week.